America's military answer to communism in Vietnam. Bury it under this superb technology. Concrete the small country over with air power. The Air Cavalry, just one American division, with more than 400 helicopters of its own. Nothing can outrun the Flying Horsemen. They leapfrog from village to village, trying to trap the VC in the valleys, herding them into what they call killing areas. They give the VC a choice, fight or hide. This part of Vietnam has been controlled by the Viet Cong for 5 years. It's an unweeded garden.
Yeah. 3-6 element which is moving north is a kid in a bunker with a shrapnel wound. What should we do, over?
Do they have a medic with them?
No, sir, they want fixing to send a medic down.
Tell them to call for the medic to get him down there on the double, do all they can for him, and if they need any more help, to give us a call.
But down there, fear is their welcome. The peasants of Vietnam are suspicious of liberators. It takes time for them to get over their initial fear. VC villages are an underworld of tunnels, shelter from airstrikes, escape for the VC when cornered. They're often booby-trapped, and they must all be searched. Down this hole, only women and children. The VC were here. Where are they now? Everybody in the village is asked. No one knows. The troops can't be sure, so every male of military age, like this one, will be taken away.
Take the baby. Give the baby to Mama, son. Give the baby to Mama, son. Give the baby. Come on, Papa, son. Come on. We'll bring you back.
Yeah.
We'll bring you back. Here's your ID card.
Come on.
We'll bring you back, Papa, son. Come on. Come on. With us. Come on. We'll bring you back. Yeah, we'll bring you back. Come on. We'll bring you back. We'll bring you back. Okay, over here. Okay, Sergeant Cannon Squad.
Fighting the Viet Cong out in the villages among the peasants, what the Americans lack most of all is information and intelligence. Each man taken is labeled, captured or suspected VC. This is the first contact these had with Americans. Then off to the nearest clearing, a helicopter and interrogation. VC or not VC? Who can be sure?
Hey, VC? You VC? Yeah, you VC. Huh? You VC? Yeah, you Viet Cong, huh? You Viet Cong. You Viet Cong. You Viet Cong. You Viet Cong. Where did you capture them? First to the 7th Cav captured them up here in LZ2.
How far away is that?
About 10 miles.
Just now.
Yeah. You're a VC though, huh? Huh? Say yeah. VC. VC. North Vietnamese. Yeah.
These are prisoners from North Vietnam, 18, 19 years old. They've come down the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Their morale seems high enough. 1,000 VC are being killed every week now. Infiltration from North Vietnam alone makes good the losses. The communist build-up matches the Americans. Their relative strengths, after a year, about the same. But these men are the remnants of a decimated battalion.
Well, this prisoner claims to be a member of a company, a battalion, a regiment, the numbers of which sound doubtful to us.
You think he's lying?
Yes, I think he is. We're not familiar with the numbers he gave us.
Yeah.
We have been engaged here over the past 3 days with the 9th Battalion of the Quiet Tam Regiment, and this man has given us numbers that do not agree with current order of battle holdings.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, we will just continue to interrogate. We will ask him about his commanding officer to see if that agrees with other information we have and so forth.
Các tỉnh của anh nằm ở ở phường nào của Bắc Việt? Ở Trung phường hay là Bắc phường, Nam phường? Bắc phường. Northern part of
North Vietnam?
Yeah, but what town? What?
He's from Doc Lap Hamlet, Tien New Village.
That's near Hanoi.
Thanh Nhân Province, North Vietnam. Right, it's near Hanoi. Just north.
Where's he wounded?
He was hit by a hand grenade, and he has shrapnel wounds all over his body.
Ask him why he came down to South Vietnam. What did his officers tell him?
Right? Yeah, he said that they were coming down here to liberate the South Vietnamese from the oppression.
From whose oppression?
Đây là tại sao ông đánh nhau với là người Việt? Ông là người Việt Nam phải không? Tại sao ông muốn đi vào Nam và đánh nhau với người Nam Việt? Tại sao?
Không hiểu làm sao thế, nhưng mà họ ở ngoài nào bắt đi thôi. Bắt phải đi là đi thôi.
He really doesn't know, other than that they told him that he had to come down here and help liberate the South.
For the air cavalrymen, chasing Viet Cong means days without sleep, in the rain and appalling humidity. In and out of their helicopters several times a day, short flights, tough marches. The combat troops in Vietnam are seldom happy warriors. How long has this fight lasted? On this operation?
About 4 days.
What's it been like?
Hell.
Have you lost many men?
1 man so far.
What do you think about the war?
Stinks.
Want to go home?
Right.
Why do you think it stinks?
Oh, just war in general. Just too many smart people in the world to be fighting.
When you go into these villages, how do you think people receive you? What do they think of you, do you think?
Well, they're scared of us. Just think we're there just to kill them, take everything they've got.
What do you feel about that?
Well, I can sympathize with them, but it's got to be done, I guess.
Like any other war, it's hell.
How old are you?
22.
Volunteer?
Nope.
Would you?
Nope.
What's the worst thing about it?
Getting shot, getting hit. Well, you see your buddies get hit. Living in the swamp. Dirt. Never be able to get clean until you get back to base camp. That's about it.
What about what you do to other people? What fighting does to other people? What do you think of that?
You mean what we do to them? Hell, if we didn't do it to them, they'd do it to us.
I don't mean that, but I mean, when you see it, what do you feel?
Nothing. Don't feel a thing.
Vietnam hardens feelings. There are 500,000 refugees, many of them vagrant children, war's orphans. They scrap in the streets of Saigon, they pimp for a living. Now and again, police round them up. Because there's nowhere else for them, they go to jail. In jail, a Catholic priest is their only visitor. In this Dickensian, fetid hole, children serve a 3-month sentence for vagrancy. Their ages range between 7 and 13. After a police roundup in Saigon, there are between 200 and 400 children sent here, shut up alongside lunatics and prostitutes in adjacent blocks. There's no running water, no school, no exercise yard, no beds. So they sleep on the stone, which is what they do in the streets anyway. The priest hands round sweets, but that's not all they hope for from him. With police permission, Father Pierre will rescue those souls he believes capable of redemption and place them in a Catholic home. This week he has room for 7. The lucky ones answer their names. Father Pierre Huang Yen is president of an overworked organization, the Society for the Protection of South Vietnam's Morals. Their passport to freedom, a promise to attend mass and shine shoes as a respectable way of making a living. The priest confesses that most will soon run away again, back to the companionship of the other urchins in the streets of Saigon. To fight communism, America backs one of the most erratic governments in the world. The generals who run the country are trained for war and little else. Prime Minister for the past year has been the Air Force Commander, General Key. He's 35. He's fought the Viet Cong almost all his life, but he has no political experience. Key is a pilot, says a bitter critic. Vietnam is not an aerodrome. General Key is now unwillingly committed to elections promised for September. The monsoon turns Vietnam into a lake of mud. It doesn't stop the war. In the delta where the rice comes from, 40,000 Vietnamese troops do the fighting for the Saigon government. This battalion has waited since dawn in the downpour. Their division's in action nearby. Late in the afternoon, they get the call to go in. The little men in green fight on despite last year's terrible losses, 20,000 killed and missing, arming the Viet Cong with their captured weapons. They feel a growing annoyance at the portrayal of all this as an American war. So far, they've taken 80% of the casualties. There's still no guarantee that if a man is killed, his family will get his pension, a year's pay. Corruption means the money often goes astray. And they're the thoughts they take into battle. In the muddy Venice below, the troops will soon be up to their armpits. The Delta used to export 250,000 tons of rice a year. Now they import the same amount. Wherever they go, the troops will have close air support. They move into the villages. Vietnam aches with this from end to end.
Roger 1, continue, check your instruments.
They're a VC in the tree line below. Napalm is the most awful of all bombs. It incinerates everything in its path. The airstrike may be used in Vietnam whenever troops or aircraft draw fire. General Quang commands in the Delta. This operation has found a VC headquarters. It yields a haul of documents. They tell the general precise details of his entire security organization. He doesn't seem surprised. The Viet Cong still get wind of most attacks. Some of the troops that left for the firefight 2 hours ago are coming back. The action has been a big one. It happens every day. The perfumed river at Hue, the old imperial capital of the emperors of Annam and 4,000 years of history. It's the center of the Buddhist revolt against Saigon. Into the courtyard of a Buddhist pagoda at Da Nang comes the funeral procession of a young student. Nothing dramatizes an issue more than the sudden production of martyrs. His bier is carried by fellow members of the Buddhist youth movement. The student had been shot by troops during street demonstrations. In Vietnam, causes need corpses like politicians need speeches. Out of these agonizing scenes, the Buddhists are emerging as a mass movement. There's a resurgence of Buddhism in the villages of Vietnam, a religious as well as political revival. In the north, they've made almost a separate state. Bonzes, Buddhist monks in their saffron robes, squat on the barricades in Da Nang. They bar the way to government troops. They're turbulent priests. They demand elections and the resignation of General Key in Saigon. The pagodas are used as headquarters for the demonstrations. Rebel soldiers who've refused to take orders from Saigon. They wear yellow ribbon to distinguish them. Bonzes direct preparations for resistance. The leaflets they distribute are snatched at by the milling mobs in the streets of Da Nang. Overhead, General Key's planes buzz the crowds. I asked a young teacher, a leader of the Buddhist struggle movement, what objections they had to the Saigon government.
My first objection here is that the President Key is too power hungry. And besides, I'd like to tell you and to the world that the first thing is that in spite of the fact that in Da Nang we have a lot of slogans against the Americans, but that does not mean that the Buddhists are anti-American at all, because we do understand that we need the help of the Americans, as long as they are still the friends of the Vietnamese people, because in this struggle against the VC is not an easy struggle at all, so we need their help.
A lot of people, your detractors, accuse you, the Buddhists, of being pro-VC, that you're pro-communist,
yeah,
that you would like to have a neutralist solution here. Now, what do you think about that?
This is really a very false accuse, and what I call a labeling. Just if you do not like somebody, just put a label on him and say he's a VC. It's really very funny to say that the Buddhists are VC, because if they were, this country were VC control a long time ago, and the Americans are here, cannot stay here any minute longer. Some of the oldest, toughest-looking Boy Scouts I've seen are members of the Buddhist youth movement. They demonstrate a special brand of escalation. In front of the pagoda, they bring piles of firewood. The Buddhist monks announce that they have volunteers for suicide by fire. The cry is, Key must go. The army now is divided. Supporting the Buddhists, General Din.
Yes. You know that John Key must be out. John Key must be out. John Key too must be out.
What's wrong with General Key?
You know that when I come here to accept the to command corps, you know the situation is very, very difficult, you know, because he has...
General Ton Tat Din has survived many difficult situations. Only 3 years ago, he was on the other side. He was the general who attacked the pagodas for President Diem.
Stuck on against him.
General, you've seen many coups in Vietnam. Many, many coups. What effect is all this having on morale in the army?
You know, the morale of the army, you know, when they saw John Key to do that, how that side? When he sends troops here, you know, that she didn't have morale to do. The morale was allowed if John Key to do that.
Well, what can be done to improve morale?
To improve morale, the best way to do, John Key to up, down. To release morale, up.
But Saigon sends troops. In this atmosphere, the two sides confront each other for a last time. The monks come out from the pagoda for a parley. A young tank corps lieutenant bars the way. He's been ordered to advance. but he has relatives on the opposing side.
Tôi đi qua con đường này với điều kiện tôi bảo lính tôi cầm súng giơ lên trên trời, với giơ khẩu súng lên trời. Nhưng mà trong khi đó tôi cầm.
What does he say to you?
I talked to my pagodas on. I lead my show on show to go over because my commander ordered me to overtime, but I never to fight.
Well, what's going to happen now?
I don't know.
This is what happened. The beginning of a week of internecine street fighting in the dissident north. 5 battalions of crack troops are taken out of the war against the Viet Cong for this.
Cây qua đây núi này cho nghe này. Không biết mình đây cho này không bắn. Ông nhìn đâu không thấy. Rồi đi chèn cứ bắn miết qua nhà lãng bắn miết đây nè.
The excited gunner yells at us that he got 2 snipers with that last burst in the building above our heads. 300 yards away, the rebels are dug in under the palm trees of the pagoda. They're going to fight it out. During breaks in the firing, children creep out of the surrounding houses and join in the fun. Some even acted as ammunition carriers. The rebels were no match for the tanks. 4 days of this left a mounting number of wounded and dead in the pagoda courtyard. The latest batch of martyrs are put on display. Prayer flags cover some of their faces, the Buddhist colors others. The revolt was over for the moment. They lay unburied for a week.
Các quốc gia Chúa đã tỏ sự công bình của Chúa. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.
No less than politics, religions divide Vietnam. The rise of militant Buddhism is a threat to Vietnam's Catholics. There are nearly 2 million of them out of a population of 15 million. 1 million fled from the north when Ho Chi Minh took over in 1954. Led by the priests, these people form the hardcore of resistance to communist advance. They've brought with them the names they had to leave in the north. This church, in a suburb of Saigon, is called Hanoi.